In this lesson, we'll take a look at the exit sub keywords. Exit sub is used to terminate a procedure before it reaches its natural conclusion. Now, usually, exit sub is paired with what we call conditional logic. Conditional logic essentially means code that only runs if a certain condition is true. So exit sub is a really ideal thing to use, for example, if all of the prerequisites for our procedure to run properly are not in place. For example, we ask the user to enter some kind of value and they do not enter a value. In that case, there's no point running the rest of the procedure, so we can terminate it early. The reason I wanted to introduce these keywords now is because they are directly tied to the concept of a procedure, which is what this section is focused on, but we're going to do a review of these concepts a little bit later in the course as well and dive into the actual conditional logic part of it. For now, let me show you how exit sub works in action. So what I'm going to do here is create a procedure called exit early. It's going to be as simple as can be. I'm just going to have a couple debug print statements here, debug print 1 and debug print 2. And right below here, I'm going to do a line break and just do a couple more, debug print 3 and debug print 4. Now, of course, if I run this procedure normally with F5, we're going to get all of these 4 numbers printed. That's expected. However, as I mentioned, we can introduce 2 new keywords called exit sub. And exactly as the name would suggest, exit sub exits or quits or terminates the procedure, the sub, at this point of execution. So VBA is going to read these 2 lines and execute them. It's going to get to this, and none of this code will execute. So when I press F5, we're going to see 1 and 2. Notice that 3 and 4 do not appear. And that's basically all there is to cover in this lesson. 2 keywords we put in our middle of our procedure if we wanted to terminate prematurely before it reaches its natural conclusion. Again, a lot more powerful when used with conditional logic, but we'll take a look at that a little bit later in the course. I'll see you in the next lesson.